Hey everyone, CJ here. Hope you're all doing well. This little video's coming out a little bit later than I'd like, but hey, we're here now, so let's talk about the latest MK1 trailer. In today's video, we'll be talking about the Keepers of Time Mortal Kombat 1 trailer. And man, was this one exciting, especially with the music choice. I wanted to go over some details that may have sparked some interesting ideas and theories. Some may have already been pointed out by others in the MK community, and some might be new things that I might have picked up on. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section down below once we get to wrapping up this video. But without further delay, let's get right into the new trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. When we start the trailer off, we seem to be in Liu Kang's place, which could either be his study or some kind of new updated Dragon's Grotto or the Dragon Library. We can come up with all cool names for this place, but it definitely does look really, really great and beautiful. Love the dragon motifs, especially these jade dragons. And you can see all of his different collections of books and stuff. Really great stuff. And it just brings attention to detail of potentially all the research that Liu Kang has been doing throughout this new timeline of his. But without further delay, we get introduced to the main highlight of this trailer, the character reveal. Who's calling me at such a good time? Anyway, with that aside, speaking of funny things, I thought Liu Kang's smile was kind of dorky here. I kind of liked it. It was kind of cool. It just gives you insight that even though he has this godly power, he's still the same Liu Kang that we all know and love. Yo, the jade stuff is cool. Oh, and he's got like a little bonsai tree too. A surprise to be sure, but a welcomed one. We see the return of Geras, who is a character that I didn't think was going to return, but I actually don't mind his return. He was really cool, and the concept behind his character is really great. It was just kind of, I felt that he was kind of lame in a way because he seemed like just a different kind of copy of Kronika, which kind of makes sense because he is supposed to be like the enforcer character. So I guess if his master is kind of boring and lame, then he would be lame. But now that he's bros with Liu Kang, apparently, that he looks and acts a lot different and way cooler than before. But we'll get more to Geras soon. It does make complete sense that since Geras is supposed to be an automaton, however you pronounce, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, that because he is a living robot man thing, that his personality would reflect that of his master, seeing as though Kronika was all about ruling over everything and trying to destroy everything. That Geras from MK11, it's all like, oh, I'm this big bad enforcer, and you will do nothing to interrupt my master's rules or whatever plan thing. And I've died 1,000 times, and that's apparently, or millions, trillions of times, and that apparently makes me better than you. I always thought that Geras was a little lame in MK11. But now in MK1, he's more like, hello, I'm Geras. I'm enforcer to God Liu Kang. And if you try to interrupt his peace, then I will be here to stop you. Kind of makes sense since he has a more stoicness now, that especially with the idea of him taking on the personality of his master, now his partner in this whole timekeeper thing, that Geras is more to himself in that sense. I don't know if that made any sense of what I was just saying and rambling on, but I thought it was pretty cool. But aside from Geras' new personality, let's talk more about his new look, because it looks really cool. Not only that, but his intro is pretty cool too. The cool like snapping effect and his time manipulation. Pretty cool. Don't forget about me, Sector, robot intro. Bird protocol activated. Back to Geras' new design. I do like the new motifs that he has. What with the golden dragons probably representing his relation and partnership to Liu Kang. He still has the golden color scheme, which is pretty awesome. And the touches of red and blue within his outfit, especially his abilities, is pretty great too. He's always had such an interesting look, both here and in MK11, but I really, really like the new dragon look. It's pretty cool, and it works for him too, especially with the new role this go around. He got that Liu Kang drip. As Liu Kang states, or Lord Liu Kang states, Geras Geras. Geras is the guardian of the hourglass, which lies beyond the realms, which begs the question if it's going to be located in the same realm that it was in MK11 and some other MK thing that came out recently that I don't want to spoil to if you haven't seen the movie yet, but the hourglass will most likely still be in the keep, no longer Kronika's keep, but now I suppose Liu Kang's keep, which begs the question of whether or not is in his study area that we saw before or a completely different place. Who knows? We'll see. But if this little hourglass thing is any depiction of how the new look is, it looks kind of cool. And it would be interesting if this is like a miniature display of it, as well as the hourglass you see during Geras' moveset later in the trailer. But what do you think? Are we going to see the hourglass in this game? Probably towards the end. And will you think that it'll be any different? Probably not, but who knows? This combo twirl move is pretty dope. The way that it looks and the way that Geras just grabs his cameo partner and just swings them around to hit the enemy. Classic. It's really cool. Especially since we see this color effect and light trail coming from the cameo partner's legs as they're being twirled around. It looks pretty cool. I wonder if it's just because of Darius's ability in this example, or it would be kind of cool if, depending on the cameo character that you use to partner up with Geras, the light effect will change depending on the kind of particle effects that their superpower has, or well, their power. Or this could just be a Darius-only color effect since we saw some of that blue-green kind of light coming from his attacks. Who knows, but it would be a nice little touch since a lot of people have cool color and light effects to their attacks. The game just looks so good, especially the moves. It's still pretty cool that they gave Geras back his Hammers of Justice. I know that's not what it's actually called, but Hammers of Justice sound a lot better than Hammers of Time. But I'm pretty sure there's no name to his gauntlets or his other moves, but I could be wrong on that. It's just cool to think. Oh, he mad? This is a segment of his moveset that I really liked, and I'm gonna go into a little bit of a deep dive here. So I like this part where he builds that sand time mirror, which made me think one of two things, that this is either a parallel timeline fight, or this is just a different point in time, like the past or the future, or it could just be a mere reflection. But I like to think of it as a different timeline since Geras has the power to do that. But when I first saw it, I got super excited because I thought that the one that we see in the sand mirror was MK11 Geras, but I was wrong. The most important thing that I drew from Geras' X-ray is the timing of both attacks from both Gerases. As you see here, our Geras, his fist makes contact with opponent's character, which in this example is Rain. And yet in the mirror version, we see that Geras is still winding up his punch before he makes contact. Then here, once our Geras has sent Rain flying towards the mirror, that's when Sand Geras, or Mirror Geras, has just made contact with his Rain. More evidence of the timing being different is here, when we see that our Geras has just followed through on his punch, and Rain is starting to fly off. As in the Sand Mirror dimension thing, Geras had just made contact with Rain, and Rain has just started flying off of his hand. And even more evidence of the timing being different here, when both Rains enter the splicing merger sand line thing, where our Rain is just about to be completely remerged, as the only things left is his shins and his feet, as opposed to Sand Dimension Rain, whose legs are up to his thighs. I just wanted to point out this little detail in the X-ray because I thought it was super cool that the designers behind this made the move look so intricate and made sure that both sets of characters were moving at different time intervals to just make the move look so cool in a way that instead of it just being an easy thing to do of just having both sets just mirror each other and that's it, I do find it kind of cool that they're moving at opposite times, since that does give the sense of it being a different timeline, which makes Geras' moveset even way cooler than before, in my opinion. This also kind of reminds me of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 7 stand D4C, otherwise known as Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, his ability. Oh, spoilers for JoJo Part 7, since that's the next part that's going to be animated. But essentially what that stand does is grabs objects and people from different timelines and brings them through a portal, almost kind of like the reverse of this image. And they can mesh together and merge and destroy itself, essentially. But yeah, this whole thing reminded me of that. This last point that I wanted to make is when the two Rains exit the mirror thing, they exit at the same time interval, which, although I just made the point of how cool it is that their entry points are at different time intervals and they were moving at different timing, this shot of them flying out at the same time is still pretty good and makes for a really great shot. It's just obvious since Geras is about to catch them at the same time in both dimensions, but it still makes for a really, really cool move and part of the overall X-ray. Man, the people working on these really made sure that every single little detail of every single move was just super dope. Can't wait to see more in action. I found this freeze frame kind of funny because Geras looks like a motivational speaker or a parent talking to a child like, it's okay, all you gotta do is just go to school and have fun. And the child is like, no, Dad, I don't want to go to school today. And then Dad Geras be like, you're going to school and that's final. It's a school night. No, Dad, no. Now, believe me, I don't always intend to be mean or nitpick a lot, but I was so saddened when I noticed the clipping here during the X-ray move. Oh no. But it's completely understandable though. Well, with everyone having different outfits and stuff, there's no way to escape clipping quite like this because everyone's outfits are just so different from one another. But still, it made kind of a little funny screenshot, right? I never noticed before until I accidentally passed by this frame that they add a white flash frame just before we see the hard impacts of the X-ray moves. And I gotta say, that does make it even cooler since that adds a flashing effect to the X-rays. It makes them more brutal that way too. What did a gym skeleton say to the other gym skeleton? Hey, you want to borrow my skeleton? This was a really intriguing line by Geras when he's calling out Liu Kang and saying, I have watched you with the hourglass. You are relishing your role as Earthrealm's protector. It's an interesting thought because it gives a little bit of insight that Liu Kang left the hourglass to Geras to look over all of the threats and stuff, since Liu Kang's role was just to create the timeline. And knowing Liu Kang, since he was immortal in the previous timelines, he would naturally want to be more a part of everything that's going on in the mortal realm, which Geras calls him out on because it's Geras' role to be observant of the timeline and watch out for potential threats. But with Liu Kang not realizing, Geras is here very, very concerned and worried that a major threat is imminent, which just gets me so much more hyped for the story to see who exactly is this big threat that even Geras is afraid of. Geras, the big robot-like man that's not afraid of death, is terrified at the fact that something big is about to happen. Could this be alluding to the fact that Liu Kang's reset of the timeline is not as perfect as he had hoped to have created it as such, is actually doomed to face a rippling butterfly effect and end up with the same canon events as every single previous timeline, regardless of how much Liu Kang and Geras has fought to shape this timeline so that things that would threaten others wouldn't have happened in the first place? Man, that's a crazy thought to have, and it'll be especially cool to see how it plays out in the game. Super excited to see what comes from that idea. No matter how perfect the timeline, it will always be doomed to face the same events, no matter the timeline. The visuals of the combos are just so sick, and I love this like rippling effect coming off of Liu Kang's fireballs, both the blue and red ones. So cool. Even Skeleton Boy's Scorpion thinks so.
No, please don't use a sick combo move on me. Please, no.
Too bad for you, Bihan.
No.
Sick dance moves. Ew, ew, ew. I love this line from Liu Kang. Those with power must know how to use it wisely. So sick of a line, and I just gotta give praise to the people behind the writing. So great. It almost made me think of this being Liu Kang's version of with great power comes great responsibility. Kind of works. I like how this line also alludes to, hey, I gave you powers, or maybe you developed your own powers, but if you're going to use it for evil, did you not see that first MK trailer? Because that's what I'm going to do to you if you keep messing around. Cameo Sector took that line and went, rocket power barrage.
Bro, we're not even enemies in this timeline. Please chill out.
And speaking of more great writing and well-delivered lines, when Geras says, when you restarted history, you altered the destinies of certain malefactors to neutralize them. It goes back to the idea that when Liu Kang was creating this timeline, whether or not it's his first attempt or not, it brought about the idea that he did his best in order to give everyone the most possible best life that they could, villain or hero from the previous timelines, in the hopes that he could finally attain the perfect timeline that can know peace. But Geras' warning here is quite ominous and pretty much alludes to the fact that Geras knows something's up before Liu Kang does, and that certain things that Liu Kang hasn't foreseen yet, especially the bigger threats at hand, will soon come their way, especially during this story. I wonder if this scene takes place before the story actually starts. So maybe is this the catalyst for why Liu Kang is going to assemble Earthrealm's mightiest heroes? Earthrealm's defenders? That is an interesting idea to think about. Maybe what Geras is trying to tell Liu Kang here is that things didn't go as planned, and Geras couldn't stop these events from happening that's going to lead into threats emerging, and he's giving Liu Kang a heads up, which is why we're having all the heroes assemble before the threat can make its debut. That's so cool of an idea. Can't wait to see how it plays out during the story. But while we're here in Liu Kang's study, thing, place, wherever we are, it's cool to see a little bit more of the stuff that he has around. Well, with these like random props that of course that has to be used to fill up the library bookshelves that he has. We see more of the little jade statues, and it's kind of cool that he has his pair of nunchucks here. Makes sense. Back to this shot, when we see Liu Kang and the other heroes exit from this portal entryway, we notice this character here right behind Johnny Cage, Raiden, and Kung Lao. A lot of people, I myself included, theorized this person to be either Kai in this new timeline. It could be a rando Shaolin warrior monk that followed them, or this could be a new character as well, but it might be one of the first two. If not Kai, then it could just be a random Shaolin monk that was joining them. But it would be cool if this is either Kai, since we haven't seen him in the NetherRealm games, or a brand new character, since I'm sure we'll see a few new faces in this new timeline. Or it could even be a new iteration of an old character. Who knows? But we're gonna find out soon. I also want to point out that since we see Kenshi in his Yakuza outfit, Johnny Cage in his regular attire, and Raiden with Liu Kang, and not Scorpion and Sub-Zero, it makes me think that could this be the third chapter? Or the second one? In the sense of this is most likely after the cutscenes from the very first gameplay trailer where we were in the Cage Mansion for a while, since Scorpion and Sub-Zero aren't here, and this is probably after Kenshi and Johnny Cage fight, which begs the question that maybe the reason why Scorpion and Sub-Zero aren't here is, what if Liu Kang sent them on their Lin Kuei mission from the Lin Kuei trailer? That's pretty cool. It'll be cool if all these coincidences and situations happen like this, because then it makes sense since this is their first time arriving, and this will be before everyone gets in their Shaolin monk's outfit and spar with each other before we continue with the story. Man, I can't wait to see Johnny Cage in a Shaolin outfit. Do you think that he'll actually wear it traditionally, or he'll just be like, nah, I'm gonna wear my workout clothes instead? It's gonna be cool to see Kenshi and Raiden in their Shaolin monk's outfit, especially during gameplay. And hopefully we can see more characters, especially this Kai not Kai character too. The posing and character animations along with the camera work is just so cool and makes the combos look extra awesome. They really stepped it up for this MK game. Oh, more MK dancing. Whoa, whoa. Speaking of things that makes moves look extra dope, I noticed that they add camera shake to the impacts of some of the hits, which makes it seem even more powerful and stronger than if they just kept the camera still once certain hits made contact with the enemy. I just thought that was so cool, and that's ultimately the best way to make action fight scenes even cooler, when you add just enough camera shake or double shots to make an impact look stronger. And yes, that does not mean add camera shake to the whole fight, because then what are we even looking at if we can't even see the fight? Sorry, maybe that's some people's cup of tea, but it ain't mine. I'd like to see the fight that's going on. Sorry if that's too mean of me, but with all cringe jokes aside.
Get over here! Nah, psych, I'm over here, toasting!
Why me? I'm glad to see the bicycle kicks are back and implemented into Liu Kang's X-ray move. But now, does that mean that it's no longer a part of his base moveset, or... who cares? It's still super awesome and dope to see it, especially with the blue and red fire. Love it. Bloody hits, mate. It's super, super dope that at the end of the X-ray move, Liu Kang does the Mortal Kombat logo just like Raiden did in Injustice 2. But even cooler, he does it with the red flame and then the blue flame, which is so sick and so awesome, especially since it's almost like a Dragon Ball Z beam of fire towards the enemy. Sick. Kamehameha! I thought this visual of the flames just hitting the opponent and then being encased by the firepower of the attack was just so cool, and it makes them look all silhouetted and stuff. Super awesome. But it also reminded me of the dusting, quote-unquote dusting effect from the Smash flashes from that one Smash trailer or cutscene. I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny to me. Your vision of peace may already be compromised. What another great line from Geras. Let's go. But in all seriousness, this quote and these shots begs the question of the little idea that I've been hitting throughout the video of Geras warning Liu Kang of the threats that are imminent and will soon appear to confront Liu Kang and the others. I saw a theory out there. I'm sorry if you're the one who came up with this idea, but unfortunately, I just don't remember your name. I'm sorry. But credit to whoever made this theory, that this action of making portals that Liu Kang is doing here is very reminiscent to how Shang Tsung did it, especially in Shaolin Monks. Which begs the interesting question. What if the twist is we've been thinking that we've been following Lord Liu Kang throughout this whole timeline because we're following the... spoilers for Aftermath, the Liu Kang ending. But what if this whole time we've been following the Shang Tsung ending, and this has been Shang Tsung in disguise as Liu Kang the whole time, and he has been Liu Kang for this whole eons of time within this timeline, and we've been following him the whole time. That would have been so crazy. But saying it out loud, as great of an idea and crazy as it would be, I doubt that it would be true. But it's still cool to consider that. And hey, since Mortal Kombat is technically a multiverse now, I guess you could say that it is canon somewhere out there in fan head canon. I think so. But yeah, what do you think about this idea? Is it too crazy or is it possible? Who knows with NetherRealm Studios nowadays, especially with their most recent Mortal Kombat games.
Naruto! Zawarudo! Boom!
One of my favorite new combo moves that Liu Kang has is when he spins around and does a flurry of kicks. It's always so awesome to see, especially since you can continue the combo and do that backflip mid-air kick. So dope.
Wait, what? No, please don't tell me that I'm part of a fatality, no!
Sorry, Bihan, but you certainly are part of a fatality now. Wait, no.
No, they've got me too. Please be gentle.
Nah. Science pop quiz, Bihan. What happens when you get sucked into a Mortal Kombat black hole? A really dope and sick looking fatality. Jeez, man. He completely went into the blender. So sick. And then he just looks like this until it becomes full skeleton. Crazy. Even Geras' fatality is super dope and sick. Man, he's so angry. Just some Geras appreciation here. Poor Baraka. The outro posing is so sick, especially for Geras and the person that he fatality'd on. And of course, the partner cameo.
Sector is the best. Fired. Let's go.
And with that, the conclusion to the very awesome Mortal Kombat Keepers of Time, aka the Geras reveal trailer comes to an end. And man, that was super awesome. I, a lot like many others, were right in the sense that every trailer will reveal a new faction or a new key character the closer we get to the release date. Which begs the question that since Geras was alone in this trailer and he kept alluding to all the villainous actions that he is anticipating, do you think the next trailer will be another hero trailer? Or are we going to see some villains now? Write your comments and theories in the section down below. Love to hear what you all be thinking. If anything, I feel like we might be getting a villains trailer before the final story trailer, before the game's release. But yes, with that out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And if you did, drop a like onto this video. Your support and help is very much appreciated. But yes, with that, I can't wait to read all your thoughts and theories in the comments. And hey, why not share this video with some of your friends if you're interested in more Mortal Kombat material here on the channel. But with that, I'm CJ. Hope you all continue to have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next video, especially the next Mortal Kombat reveal trailer. But with that, see you next time. Bye bye for now. Geras?